start us off, I want to take a look back at our channel performance versus last year, and honestly, it's absurd. On the left, we have some channel data from 2022, and on the right, we have that same thing of 2023. Plus 801% increase from subscribers is insane on its own, but the fact that the view increase was over 3000% literally had my jaw on the floor when I first saw it. I mean, it was mostly from shorts, but it's still wild to see those numbers, you know, coming from me. Next, I want to shout out a couple of my really good friends, Minor Fun and Quincy Siegel. They created a really cool scripted Minecraft TV show, and just this year, a movie with me as one of the main characters in both of them. You may have heard of it by now, but it's called White Coral. I highly recommend checking it out if you want to see me act. It's really funny, man. Now we're gonna go over how I lowered my time enormously in the Super Mario Odyssey any percent run this year. And just wait, I'll get to Mario 64 after this. I'm just trying to go in the order of events here. In August and September 2022, I returned to Mario Odyssey speedrunning and managed to get the sub 1 hour and 10 minute milestone with a 109.37. It was then that I took a pretty long break from this speedrun since sub 110 had been my goal for that era of time. This was until March 2023 came around and the hype for the Mario movie started to build up. Of course, this is around the time that the movie itself was going to release and I wanted to contribute to the hype, so I set a goal for myself to beat my 109.37 PB before the Mario movie would release on April 5th. I unfortunately ended up kind of betraying this goal for Super Mario 64 speedrunning, but eventually on April 18th, I came back to SMO and ended up beating the PB with a 109.23. Like I said, at this point I'd started doing Super Mario 64 16-star speedruns, but I was still a noob, just trying to get sub 20. But 10 days after my Mario Odyssey PB, I beat it again with a 108.48. I played 40 seconds off my sum of best segments, so I knew my gameplay had leveled up from last year. 1 week after that, I continued to destroy my PB and got a 108.08. Then the next day, 107.34. Now at this point, I'd stopped doing Mario 64 for the most part and was mainly paying attention to Mario Odyssey. A week after the 107.34, I got another small PB which was a 107.27, then, a week later, destroyed that with a 106.42. I was really happy with this PB since this beat Smallant's beginner run that was pretty fast with the beginner strats that were being used way back in 2018. So now, it was about the final week of May and I got 2 final PBs. One of these was a 106.28, and on May 29th, I got my current Super Mario Odyssey any percent PB that is by far my favorite speedrun of any game I have ever attempted in my life. I played pretty much perfectly for several kingdoms, golding several things, and in the end, I lowered my sum of best to a 104 from just that run. Again, playing 40 seconds off my sum of best, and at this point, I was a much more experienced runner, so lowering your sum of best is really difficult. This clutch that I'm about to show you saved the run and saved the PB. This clutch was crazy. It was at the end of the run. My heart dropped. Just take a look for yourself, man. Alright, and with that, it's time to transition. So this is the end of my Super Mario Odyssey journey from this year, and at this point, it was about the start of June. You know, I tried speedrunning Mario Odyssey for a couple more days to lower my Odyssey PB, but I quickly realized that I should really just let it sit since I'd been grinding this game for months. But now, it's time for...
It's me, Mario!
So, just to explain a little bit, I started messing around with Super Mario 64 around the time that I came back to Mario Odyssey, but as you know, as I started to get good at Odyssey, I dropped 64 for the time being. Shortly after my 105.49 in Odyssey, I had a feeling that it was time for the Koopa to come out of his shell and, in this situation, start to play Mario 64 a little bit more. My first official 16-star PB that I uploaded to YouTube was on June 23rd, and for the time, I was really happy with it. It was in 1906. Surprisingly, I didn't really beat this PB for a really long time, many months actually. I'd stopped doing streams as often, and instead was just enjoying practicing the game on my own and running off stream and off camera. It was the middle of summer now, and I was streaming many different things, like Mario Kart and my first React content, which was extremely fun. Speaking of React content, if you want to see more of it, please let me know of any ideas that you would want to see, because I'm really open to anything. Anyways, for several months now, I've been taking it pretty easy, just doing some 31-star every once in a while, and that's about it. That continued until September, which is when I started to do more 16 star. I wasn't streaming very often, so it took me until October to beat my PB. Earlier I said I'd been grinding off stream and off camera. Well, it shined bright in my new PB, which is an 1818. A 48-second PB in 16 stars, huge because of how short the run is. And as of right now, these are my two main PBs of the year, and I hope to beat them both next year, since there's literally like 2 days left of 2023 at the time of recording this. And just like that, the story of 2023 for my YouTube channel is pretty much over. It's been an amazing year, and I've learned a lot about what I want to do on the internet and my plans for streaming and YouTube in the future. Again, make sure to check out Quincy Siegel's YouTube channel, which will be linked down below in the description, and start watching White Coil if you enjoyed this and want to see more of me. Also, huge shout out to It's Cinderous for showing me tips and tricks for editing, because this video would have been a lot more difficult if they hadn't showed me. I hope you all have a very happy new year, and I can't wait to see what 2024 brings to all of us. I didn't want to do this outro, but I just have to, man. Like Spotify Wrapped, same time next year.